I am so stoked. I finally opened all these boxes that have been sitting outside my office for like 2 months now. All of this stuff is everything that I got from Holley to build my LS motor. I've literally been saying, don't open the boxes, don't open the boxes, finish the roll cage in your car, which is taking me a little bit longer because I'm filming a whole video about doing that. And I only work on it for a couple hours here and there. But today I had to get into a couple of these boxes to figure some stuff out for Andy's Whipple Supercharged LS. So I opened a couple boxes and I figured out what we needed. And then I'm like, okay, unraveled. And then I was like, oh, well, might as well open all the boxes. So opened everything and I'm really, really excited. It's, it's not everything that I need. I still, there's a bunch more, but I'll show you what I got so far. And I just I'm totally psyched. I got a Holley's Terminator X management and wiring harness. This is a 40 millimeter wastegate from them. Holley adjustable fuel pressure regulator, injectors, fuel rail, low rise intake manifold. This thing's sick. Holley oil pan, 105 millimeter throttle body. This is like the front part for the manifold. Oop. These are Holley's or Hooker turbo manifolds. What these do is put a single turbo on the front right side of the engine compartment, or like the passenger side of the engine compartment. That's like a rear crossover that kind of goes behind the motor, in between the motor and the transmission. Like I said, there's more stuff that I still need to order. I got to get a turbo still. I'm not sure which one I want to get, but I'm just so excited to finally see this stuff, because literally I've been looking at boxes and now I'm like even more psyched to like hurry up and get the cage done so I can start doing the engine. I'm excited. So I talked about Adam taping his seam sealer lines. So this is what the tape lines look like before seam sealer.
Getting special. I always leave myself a little tab, so after I seam seal I have something to lift onto, so I'm not sitting here picking at tape with gross hands.
I already had it prepped out for 320. We used a soft block kind of blocking here and some of the harder block on some of these exterior surfaces that need to be a little bit straighter. But I actually had to go back over top of some of the areas, like you can see here where there's some guide coat. I re-primed that where there were some burn throughs. And the importance of doing that is when you go to put your next layer of paint on, if it's burned through the primer back into the poly, you'll actually get a halo or a ring that you'll see through the paint. That it's basically from the paint shrinking back into that layer. And really the only way to get it out is to do what I'm doing right now and to re-prime those burn through spots, which I'm gonna just go quick back over with 320 to blend it out, and then I'll guide coat the whole thing again, and I'll feather everything out to 600, and then it'll be ready for paint.
So I was just talking to Jack about the different grits with the different paints that we use, whether it's a metallic or just a solid color, and he was explaining kind of why you do what you do. So,
well, usually it's a general rule of thumb that anything that has any kind of a metallic in it, you want to go at least a 600 grit. Is the coarsest you want your scratches to be before base coat, because any coarser than 600 grit, you're going to run into problems where the metallic will lay in those sand scratches and swell up, and it'll look darker and accentuate the scratches, and you can't polish it out. There's nothing you can do at that point. Solid colors that don't have a metallic in it are a little bit easier to deal with. Those you can get away with only sanding out to 400. Mm-hmm. Still a good idea to get it out to 600 just for peace of mind, but usually you don't run into those problems with the solid colors.
Well, now you know. So this whole top edge was all like pitted. You know, the convertible top goes over this, and with all this pitting that was there, I sent some photos to John of it, and John said absolutely do some body work on it because the top sits tight to this, and any of these little, you know, kind of depressions in the aluminum would show through on the top. So that's just something that's getting worked on right now. All this was cleaned up, degreased, pressure washed and cleaned, and then now it's just going to be put in trim black and ready for ready for John to do the top on it. Super excited. Andy's C-10 is finally seeing some green, at least the cab anyway. There's a bunch of other parts that are already painted green, but cowl, cab, this stuff has to get two-toned. You know, like around the back here is white, and then the whole roof is gonna be, not white, but like a cream color, and then the A-pillar as well.
I just finished doing the base coat on Andy's cab. I finished spraying the green this morning, and then masked it up to spray the white, which I did before lunch. Pretty good. Getting ready to spray clear coat right now.
Not napping. I'm sorry, I prefer TIG too much.
Yeah, once it's painted, there won't look like there's any weld.
Yeah, I know it.